box me if you like a story. I'd like to see how many of you would like to listen a story that's gonna help you to make the decision and change your life, right? So please type in the chat box a story. I'd like to see how many of you would like to know the story. So today, I'm gonna share with you how did I start to learn English and why have I started that time. So it was back then in 2000, I would say 2008. So I was studying at University of Chittagong and I was doing my master's, right? And so the class that was all about the American history, and the course was taken by a doctorate. I don't like to mention his name. So he was brilliant teacher. He has done his PhD from America, and he used to give us a lecture in English in the class, right? But in that class, there are some sort of rules. And one of the rules was you can't ask him any questions while he's lecturing, right? So that was the one of the hardest rule in his class. So I was sitting in the, I think, second or third row. I was taking a lot of notes and he was lecturing regarding Second World War, right? And there are a lot of, diplomatic things, war and all that stuff. And I was really thrilled to get down all the notes because, probably you might be studying at university. So if you take notes, whatever your teacher is saying in the class, if you write them during the exam, so the teacher understand that, okay, he has enjoyed my class and that's why he has taken a lot of notes. And eventually you're going to get a good score in the real exam. So, okay, long story short, I was just taking the notes and I forgot the rules, right? And I just raised my hand and I asked a question. So he was going so fast here and there, and he used a word, it's called embargo. Type in the chat box if you can hear me. The word was embargo. Here, type in the chat box, embargo, right? So I do want you to write down the word embargo, okay? So I didn't know the meaning of the embargo. So as I don't understand the meaning of embargo, I couldn't figure out what's the meaning of the whole sentence and what he's talking about, right? So I raised my hand. I said, excuse me, sir, I'm not sure what you mean by embargo. And something happened, right, in a minute. He was so angry and he just kicked me out from the class. And he said, get out from my class, take the bags. And that time I was so insulted. And in front of the class, you have got a lot of, friends. I mean, he friends and she friends. So I was really, really insulted. I was freaked out. I was not sure what to do. So I took my bags. I went outside of the class and I was about to cry. And it was painful, right? And that's the moment I made the decision that I'm going to learn English and I'm going to perform in the class the best. Whatever it takes, I'm going to learn English, right? So why I'm sharing my story with you is most of the decision we make is coming from either pleasure or pain. Type in the chat box, pleasure or pain. Pleasure or pain. Most of the decision is coming from either pleasure or pain, right? আমরা জীবনে যতগুলো important decision make করি, behind the scene, either it has got pleasure or pain. So there are a lot of decisions we make because, let's say, for example, you'd like to give a gift to your parents, a nice house, right? So it's coming from pleasure of feelings. And my one, it was from pain. So it's always coming from pleasure or pain. So now I'm going to ask you a real question, right? So I know you have made the decision, you're going to learn English, whatever it takes. So where is it coming from? Is it coming from pleasure or pain? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see. Type in the chat box so that I can understand how have you made a decision. So you have made the decision to learn English. So is it coming from pleasure or is it coming from pain? Type in the chat box, right? Okay. So now the story hasn't ended there, right? So I made the decision, I got to learn English. So I know my what I'm going to achieve. That's the first thing. So my what is, I'm going to learn English. Now the question is how I'm going to learn English. Okay, I got my decision, and why is very strong because I was insulted and I would like to become hero by learning English. That was my story. So the next part is I was trying to learn English, and guess what? When we are thinking about learning English, what we are thinking about? We are thinking about some sort of coaching center, right? Or English preparation center or IELTS preparation center. That's what. So as I was studied at Chittagong University, so next day I went to Chittagong City and I just visited a few centers, right? And I went to the reception. I said, do you have any spoken course or something else? I'd like to learn English. And I get all the information, 3 or 4, but I didn't have any sort of money to pay the fees. And that time there was like 2,000, I think 2,000 taka for a spoken course. Please type in the chat box. How much was the fee for a spoken course at that time? Only 2,000. But I didn't have that much money, 2,000, to pay the fees. What happened next? So usually I used to get like around 2,000 taka from my family for my, what is called, lodging, food, and other expenditure, right? So if I ask, 2,000 more, there's going to be some sort of burden for my family. Already, you know, my father was a high school teacher and my mom was a primary school teacher, right? So I didn't come from an affluent family. So then what happened is, so I was thinking about how I'm going to do it. So now I have started thinking about how. So, you know, there is a proverb which says, when the student is ready, teacher appears. Type in the chat box what I just said. There is a proverb which said, when student is ready, teacher appears. Type in the chat box. This is very important proverb. You got to know. When the student is ready, teacher appears, right? When the student is ready, comma, teacher appears. So that means when you are ready to get something gonna happen. So I was looking into here and there and all that stuff. All of a sudden I got a call from my friend. So he was studying at Dhaka University and he said, my friend, I needed a favor from you. I don't know what's gonna happen next. So whatever he shared, that really excited me a lot. So he said, I have got a sister in Chittagong who is living there. So my brother-in-law and sister, they would like to go to Australia. But the problem is, my brother-in-law, he is too busy because he was an IT engineer. And my sister, she doesn't like to go out. So now they need to do the IELTS course. So can you please help them doing the IELTS course? And I was not sure what does it mean? Then I said, okay, how can I help? I'm not sure. He said, okay, tomorrow I'm coming to Chittagong and you got to go to my sister's house and then we're going to discuss regarding that. Then we're going to make the decision. I said, okay, that's fine. And I'm really excited because I haven't seen you for a long. So you're coming to Chittagong from Dhaka. And yeah, so, you know, when your friend comes from another city and you're living in the same dormitories, sharing the same bed, it's a lot of fun. So next day he came to my dormitory at University Hall and we went to his sister's house. And then the brother-in-law, he said something that was amazing. He said, look, all you need to do is you need to go to the center. You need to take preparation for IELTS. Whatever you're learning from the center, you got to come back to our house and you got to teach us. You got to share with us. That's the only thing he said. I said, wow. I was literally, looking for the money, 2,000 for a spoken course, because the IELTS was something like 4,000 or 5,000 taka. And how come, I mean, I dare to think about that. And just I got an offer from the brother-in-law that he's going to pay the fees of the course. All I got to do is I got to go to the center and take all the notes. And once I come back, then I'll share with them. And this is how they're going to learn, and they're going to sit for IELTS exam. See, they are too busy, and still they are making decision to fly to the Australia. However, they are in Australia right now, right? And that time, I didn't. Okay, so someone said, so if you okay, is there anyone? Can you please type in the chat box if you don't hear it? If you don't hear me, all you got to do is you need to sign out and you need to come back again. So then you can hear me. Right. So, okay, next step is, so I started going to the center for IELTS class, and the first class was listening, right? And still I can remember there was a young guy. He was taking the class, listening class, and he played the, that time CD player, played the cassette player, and listening started. Foreigners started talking something else, and just I was trying to answer. And what the heck, I didn't have any clue what was going on over there. And I think I didn't get even 10 out of 40 in listening. And again, I was really scared, freaked out. And I went to the brother-in-law's house and I said, I'm so sorry. I think I already wasted your money, like 4,000 taka. I didn't understand anything in the class, right? And I think I made a bad decision. And he said, don't worry about that. Don't feel sorry. What I'm going to do, I'll give you a recorder. So once you go to the class, just you press the button, it's going to start recording. And once we come back, we just transfer the data from recorder to the computer. And this is how we're going to learn. I said, okay, amazing, still. However, I was not happy with the class because I didn't understand anything. I just jumped into from, without any sort of preparation into IELTS class. And IELTS class is not the class where you can learn English. IELTS class is all about how you're gonna, develop some sort of skill like listening, writing, reading, and speaking, and you're gonna get a better score in IELTS exam. That's the IELTS class, preparation class. I don't have any basic in English that time. And then my sister, friend's sister, so she suggested me something that was very, 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 I would say, important. She said, why don't you buy the old magazine from Daily Star, and you're gonna start reading them. And I know once you start reading them, you will find a lot of vocabularies and probably will not understand the structure of the sentence. So still, you got to start from there. So I started buying, 1 taka's old Daily Star magazine, and I started, reading and then all of a sudden I found that, okay, I started understanding all the sentences, right? Then I started reading the editorial column from the Daily Star. That was so difficult. So please raise your hand, what I'm talking about, right? So editorial column from Daily Star is bombasting water. If you write down 2-3 sentences, probably you will get 10-12 vocabularies you don't know. So I started having the dictionary with me always, and I started, what is called highlighting the vocabulary, what I don't know, and I started finding out from the dictionary. And now it's easy as well. So you have got internet, just you can go to Google and you can just get the meaning. So once I have started, after a certain period of time, I found that, okay, I started understanding English. I started basically enjoying the IELTS class. So that's how it happened to my life, right? So I know some of you probably you might be the same situation where I was in 2008-9 during the IELTS class. So don't worry about that. All you got to do is you got to take the first step. You got to push yourself in uncomfortable situation. So once you are there, then automatically you'll adapt with the environment and then you will start learning, right? So how many of you think this story is very, very helpful? Please type in the chat box helpful. I'd like to see it. right? So type in the chat box if the story is very helpful to you. Okay. Okay. So the next story I'm going to share with you, that I would say that shocked me a lot. So probably, we are helping students to going to different countries like UK, US, and Canada. Now I'd like to share another story from one of our students, right? I don't like to mention his name because it's confidential. So this student, he is from Sylhet, and he studied pass course in Maulavi Bazar College. So if you know what about the pass course, it's 3 years course. It's called pass course, right? I think BSS something else. If you follow me, please type in the chat box pass course. So he has completed pass course, and then his dream is to study abroad, especially in the UK, right? And he is not from the affluent family as well. So what happened is, all of a sudden he saw one of our Facebook little ad, and one of our colleagues, Farhana, she was walking behind, I think, Birmingham City University, and she was talking something about the course and all that stuff. And at the end, she said, so if you are interested in studying at university, please click the book now button, and one of our colleagues will contact you and they will help you from there. So, okay, I'm gonna give a name. Let's say his name is Salman, right? So Salman saw this advertisement, he clicked the button, someone called him, and he said, I'd like to study at UK University, so can you please help me? And my colleague said, of course, that's what we do. And so my colleague said, can you please send all the documents to us? And Salman, he sent all the documents to him. And then after doing the assessment, so the feedback was, you can study the master's course directly. So because he's from pass course, so you have got two options. The first option is you can do top-up course. That means you have done 3 years over there. So you got to do 1 year here and you're going to get bachelor degree. That is the option one, right? So please type in the chat box, top up, if you follow me. Type in the chat box, top up, right? And the second option was, so you can study here in Bangladesh masters. So once you finish this masters, then you can go for another masters, right? Because you have done the pass course. So 3 years course plus masters is going to be equivalent to a bachelor degree. Then you can study master's course, right? The second option was masters, right? So after having all the information, so he started processing his file, and all of a sudden, so he was trying to come to this country in May, but all of a sudden his father died, right? And one of my colleagues said, one of our students that died, so that's why he couldn't make it right now, and he just postponed. And I was so sorry to hear that news. And after a certain period, we didn't have any contact, probably for 2-3 months. And after that, he gave a call. He said, okay, can I proceed my application again? And of course, my colleague said, yes, of course you can. And then he proceeded his file, and he got the visa, and he came to the UK, right? And he didn't have anyone else in the UK. And usually what do you do if you haven't got any relatives? So if you are using the London airport, either Gatwick or Heathrow, personally, I go there to the airport and I pick them up and I drop them to their destination. And if you are coming in Birmingham or Manchester, we have got an office in Birmingham and Manchester as well. So my colleague is literally go there to pick you up and drop to the destination. So he shared with my colleague that I haven't got any relatives, so can you please help me? He said, why didn't you tell us before? So you're going to London, so my director is there. He's gonna pick you up from there. So please confirm me your flight date so that I can confirm my director, and he's gonna schedule to pick you up. Right. So then my colleague confirmed me that he's coming on Monday. So so the flight, I think he flew at night and he came here in the morning. And I went there And I picked him up from the Heathrow airport, and I said, okay, follow me. So I went to the car, I opened the car, and he went there, right? And he didn't get into the car. And interesting thing, I said, okay, Salman, can you please get into the car? And he said, is it Range Rover? I said, yeah. And then he asked me another question, is it your car? I said, yeah. And I said, we are going to my house. I mean, driving down this car. I said, yeah. And you know that airport parking is so expensive. If you stay there, it's like 3-4 times expensive. I said, Salman, why don't you, get in the car and we're going to drive down. Then we're going to talk inside the car. And he said, yeah, that's fine. So I opened the door for him. He get into the car. I started driving down. I paid the parking ticket, then went outside of the airport. And then I started talking with him. So how was life? Where are you from? What is your background and all that stuff? But the story he shared with me, it just changed my whole approach, right? So after passing away his dad, so he couldn't afford the tuition fees to come to the university, but he didn't stop there, right? So all you got to do, if you are in such a situation, all you got to do is you need to think outside of the box, out of the box. Please type in the chat box. You got to think out of the box. Type in the chat box. You got to think out of the box. I'd like to see how many of you are following me. You got to think out of the box, right? So in his box, there was no tuition fees. He didn't think about it, right? So then he started thinking outside of the box. So all of a sudden, what he found is on his neighbor. So he approached to him and he said, Salman, I know you got the visa and you'd like to study in the UK. You have got a big dream and you are chasing your dream. What if we sponsor you financially and you got married my daughter, right? So this is how he managed his tuition fees, right? And by that time, he was ready. And you know, the teacher appears, right? He was ready with IELTS. He already made the, application. He got the offer letter in his hand. Only thing was remaining is his tuition fees. So once, as I said, once the student is ready, teacher appears, right? So you got to think outside of the box. So he thought outside of the box. And I saw as, wow, that's a very powerful story, right? So you came from a family that's not rich. You completed your course, that was past course, and you couldn't make it. So you applied for what is called top up. And then you didn't have any tuition fees. That's why you decided to get married someone else who can support you financially. That's a very powerful decision, right? And then what happened is, so once he got the visa, that was the top up. And that's the reason he couldn't make the application for what is called for his spouse. And anyway, so once you finish his top up, then he's gonna get the what is called opportunity to bring his wife here. And yeah, this is how. So all you need to do is you got to think outside of the box. So all you can. So the first thing is, I'm gonna again refer the same story. First thing is what? So Salman, he has already decided what he's gonna do. So he's gonna study at UK University, right? And the next thing is why. So probably he wants to have financial freedom, as he's not from a rich family. He got to support his family, sister, and all that stuff. That's why he made the decision. And the third thing is how it comes automatically. So he was approaching each and everyone. So can you please help me financially? I have got my offer letter. I need to pay the tuition fees. Once I fly there, then I'll save some money. I'll give you back. And all of a sudden, he got an offer from his neighbor that he's gonna get married someone else whose family is financing him for the tuition fees. So this is the real scenario I'm sharing with you. So all you got to do is you need to first decide your what, then you need to ask yourself why you want to achieve that, and the third thing is how is coming automatically, right? So if you're really confused, just trust me. How will come automatically. And all you got to do is you need to think outside of the box. That's the only thing you got to do, right? So in the last class, we have learned so many things. Can you remember what we have learned in the last class? Type in the chat box, please. I'd like to take 1 minute to get your feedback. So what did you learn in the last class? Please type in the chat box. Please type in the chat box. What did you learn in the last class? Everyday routine. Sumaya said, okay. Tashfik said, okay, Tashfik, no problem. Anybody else? So what do I do my day? Okay. So that means what do I do every day? Okay. Daily activities. Okay. Excellent. Ibrahim. Shahjahan, daily activities. Okay. Thank you. Mehdi said daily routine. Okay. And I was really excited to see your what is called homework, right? Your presentation. You're crushing it, right? So just believe it or not, if you continue doing this for 7 days speaking challenge and you're going to have a class with this team, it's going to blow your mind, right? So who would like to have a class with Steve? Please type in the chat box, Steve. So Steve is a British IELTS instructor. So he's going to take a class and he's going to teach you how to get a better score in IELTS exam, right? So just type in the chat box who would like to get a class with Steve. Type in the chat box, Steve, S-T-E-V-E. Okay, Steve. Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Right. So, okay, in the last class, we have learned so many things. Just I'd like to go a bit very quickly. So, okay, so we have learned so many things in the last class. That was all about daily activities. And basically, what do you do? Okay, so this was the structure, right? So this was the structure. So what are you gonna do? We're gonna refresh ourselves, then we're gonna jump into the next session. So what I'm gonna do, I'll unmute yourself, and all you got to do is you need to, okay, all you got to do is you need to, okay, let me take the Zoom, sharing my screen. Okay, and here you go. So this was the whole structure we practiced in the last class. So subject plus verb, right? Can you please type in the chat box, subject plus verb, subject plus verb. So that was the whole structure we practiced, right? Subject plus verb, quickly. So you got to playful, right? If I say something, do it straight away. So subject plus verb. Now what I'm gonna do, I'll unmute yourself and I'll ask you to give me all the sentences, right? So here you go. I'm gonna unmute yourself in a minute. 3, 2, 1. So all you got to do is you need to give me all the sentences. I speak, we speak, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
I
speak, we speak,
we
we
speak, they speak,
You speak, they speak, he speaks, they speak, Tony speaks.
Excellent.
Tony speaks.
Thank you. So can you please type in the chat box if you have done your presentation in the last class and if you have uploaded in the Facebook group. Please type in the chat box done. I'd like to see how many of you have done the presentation. Type in the chat box very quickly. How many of you have done your presentation and uploaded in the Facebook group? Yeah, type in the chat box, please, very quickly. Done. D-O-N-E. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So I'd like to see how many. Okay. So, okay, I'd like to mention the name who has done the homework. Okay, Anika, congratulations. Tanim Dotto, congratulations. Mehdi, congratulations. Rukul Mirda, congratulations. Anybody else? Jewel Mia, congratulations. Right. So, engineer MJ Abdul Rahman, congratulations. Okay. So all you got to do is, if you haven't done it yet, you got to do this, right? Can you remember? Is learning, implementing, and achieving. So if you just stop there, just learning, if you don't apply, you are not going to achieve anything, right? And you got to be ready, right? Success is, some people say success is a luck. It's not. Believe me, it's not. Success is all about Preparation plus timing equals success. Can you please type in the chat box? Prep plus time equals success. Prep plus timing equals success. Type in the chat box, please. Prep plus time equals success. So can you remember my story? So though I have learned English and I helped them to learn English as well, but I didn't have any clue whether I'm gonna fly abroad for a study purpose. I never thought about studying in the UK, but I was ready, right? And once the opportunity came, once I see this is the time, just I jump in. So all you got to do is prep plus time equals success. That's what you need to. So you got to be prepared yourself. So once you're prepared and once you see the time, you're gonna jump in and you will see the success. And that's happening right now. So you know, in the UK and USA, there is no visa rejection. So if you can meet their criteria, like you have got previous qualification, you can manage the tuition fees, you have got English certificate like IELTS, YTC, TOEFL, etc., etc. So that means you have got timing, and all you got to do is, so you are prepared, you got timing, you need to jump in, and it'll see it's gonna change your life, right? So that's what I need to do. So here you go. So yeah, we practice a lot regarding what do you do in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and we found this thing all together. So what I'm gonna do, I'll ask you the same question, and you got to give me the answer, right? So my question is, what do you do every day? And you need to give a presentation. I'll unmute in a minute. So you need to start from, hi everyone, this is Habib. Today I'd like to share with you what I do every day. I usually get up early in the morning, and you need to keep going until you go to bed, right? So are you ready to give a presentation? If you're ready, please type in the chat box ready, R-E-A-D-Y. I'd like to see how many of you are really ready to give a presentation right now. How many of you are really ready to give a presentation right now? Okay, so type in the chat box ready, R-E-A-D-Y. Excellent, thank you. Thanks for responding. Okay, excellent. So now, please unmute yourself, right? So don't be lazy. And usually I use a bad word with lazy bastard, right? So don't be lazy bastard. So if I say something, just jump into it and just do the preparation, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Hi everyone.
Well, I woke up early in the morning, then I refreshed myself, and
Hi everyone, I'm
then I go to my college for today. I'm okay. 4 p.m. I just went out enough time for walking, and
my wife work tomorrow and I wake
So now you are the challengers, right? So I'm going to give you a challenge. All you got to do is you need to give this presentation and you got to finish it in 2 breaths, right? How many breaths? Type in the chat box. So so all you got to do is you need to give this presentation within 2 minutes. How many minutes? Type in the chat box, please. Not 2 minutes, 2 breaths. So how many breaths? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see if you follow me. Only 2 breaths, right? So are you ready? Are you really excited? Okay, so again, I'm gonna unmute yourself. This time, please go a bit faster and finish it by 2 breaths. So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone, I was the parent of the expect my singing singing in the song which takes me around 10 minutes to reach the, my destination about 8 sharp. I get my second I go to work and I say my answer the phone call in the I eat plus and drink oats and cream. I have dinner with my family. After the dinner, I was better told to my pet. Somehow
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now, just I'd like to remind you, what you can see here. Can you please type in the chat box? What you can see here? Type in the chat box. What do you see here? Please type in the chat box. Okay. Sadia, thank you for responding. Tanim, thank you. What do you see here? Please type in the chat box. Zahid says certificate. Okay, Zamshid says certificate. Yeah, that's right. So as you're gonna have a class with Steve as well, so you're gonna get this certificate exactly with your name, and there's gonna be 7 days speaking challenge, and the instructor signature would be Steve Tulegan, right? So who would like to get a certificate from Steve? Please type in the chat box, Steve. I'd like to see who would like to get a certificate from Steve. Type in the chat box, Steve. So here, Dr. Robil Islam, instead of Dr. Robil Islam, you're gonna have a name is Steve Tulegan, right? So if you'd like to get a certificate, all you got to do is you need to attend all the classes. Number one, you got to submit all your work, right? And then we're gonna give you an email address at the end of this class, course. All you got to do is you need to write down an email. Dear sir, my name is Hassan Habib. I have attended 7 days speaking challenge. I attended all the classes and I submitted all my homeworks. Can you please give me the certificate? My full name is MD Hassan Habib. Thank you. So once you send this certificate, probably within 7 days, you're gonna get certificate. And now, if you tell me that, okay, out of 7 days challenge, I have submitted 6 homework. Can I get the certificate? Of course not, right? So all you got to do is you need to submit all the homework. So don't stack all the homework together. Submit every day, right? Don't wait till the end. And at the end is going to be a lot of work. So now we'd like to take you here. So this is the language, right? Language means asking and answering. Can you please type in the chat box? Language equals asking and answering. I'd like to see very quickly. So who is with me? Language equals asking and answering. Language equals asking and answering. Language equals asking and answering. Type in the chat box quickly. Language equals asking and answering. Yeah. Language equals asking and answering. So in the last class, you answered me a question. So what do you do every day, right? And you gave me 30 sentences. That means you can answer. You can speak on, right? And okay, so after giving the presentation, how many of you felt very proud that, well, wow, I have already spoken 5 to 7 minutes or 10 minutes, right? How many of you felt really proud? Please type in the chat box proud. I'd like to see. How many of you felt really proud that after speaking or after practicing, you are giving a presentation for 5 to 7 minutes, right? How many of you felt really proud? Please type in the chat box proud. Okay, I'm proud as well. I see your progress. You are developing a lot, right? Well done. So now we're gonna bring up the energy, and you know what to do, right? To bring up the energy. So we're gonna run for a minute, and then we'll jump into the new session. So please stand up. Stand up. All you got to do is you need to run with me for 60 seconds, and then we're gonna jump into in the next session. So what I'm gonna do, I'll help you to put the music as well, so that you can run with me. Right? So are you ready? So shake your body. Shake your body. All you got to do is shake your body. Right? shake your body, stand up, everybody stand up, right? So all I want from you is you got to stand up and you need to run with me. So you know what to do, right? So turn left, right? Put your leg a bit front and just aim for running, right? And I'm gonna play the music so that you can run with me, right? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start running, right? Run, run. Run, run. Quick. Pump the blood. Run. Keep running. Keep running. Okay, James. Run. Keep running. Don't stop. Don't stop. A bit faster. Right. Shake the booty. Shake the booty. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now we're gonna go to the next session, right? So this is all about asking and answering, asking and answering. So asking and answering. So can you please grab your pen and paper? Pen and paper, quickly. Please grab your pen and paper. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So all you got to do is, can you please write down subject plus verb? Just please write down subject plus verb. Two things, subject plus verb. And under the subject, can you please write down all the subjects? I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. Right? So keep writing all the subjects quickly. So first of all, you need to write down subject plus verb. That's the two things. And under the subjects, please write down I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. Right? Okay. So if you have written it, please comment in the chat box, done. I'd like to see how many of you have written subject plus verb. And under the subject, please, below the subject, write down I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. Right? So can you please show on the camera? So if you have written it. Okay, excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So before the subject, can you please write down do? Do. Can you please write down do? Before the subject, can you please write down do? So I'm gonna share my screen so that you can understand exactly what I mean by that. Right? So here you go. Here you go. So this should be the structure. Excellent. That's right. So subject plus verb, and just you need to write down do before the subject. So do, subject, verb, question mark. Do, subject, verb, question mark. Can you please write down quickly exactly like this structure? Do, subject, verb, question mark. So subjected age do thakte hobe, right? Do, subject, verb, question mark. Okay, excellent. Excellent, thank you. So now we're gonna go to, okay. So now can you listen very attentively, because if you don't understand this part, this puzzle, is going to be very difficult for you to understand the whole thing. So listen to me very carefully. So do means kora. We use do for interrogative and negative sentences, and when we use for interrogative and negative sentences, it doesn't have any meaning. I repeat, do means kora, do means an action, so it doesn't have any meaning at all while we are using interrogative and negative sentences. I repeat, do means kora or an action. So when you use do for interrogative and negative sentences, it doesn't have any meaning. What I mean by that is, so usually we need a do if you'd like to make interrogative and negative sentences. Please write it down. So যদি নেগেটিভ এবং ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করতে যাই তাহলে আমাদের do দরকার, right? Please type write on your paper. So নেগেটিভ এবং ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করার জন্য আমাদের do দরকার, এবং এই do এর কোনো মিনিং নাই এই সেন্টেন্সে। ইন্টারোগেটিভ এবং নেগেটিভ সেন্টেন্সে যখন আমরা do ব্যবহার করি তখন এর কোনো অর্থ হয় না, right? Please write down these two things. Do means an action. It doesn't have any meaning at all. So when you use do for interrogative and negative sentences, that's the two things you got to understand, right? So now, if I ask you, what do you need if you'd like to make interrogative and negative sentences? আমরা যদি interrogative এবং negative sentence তৈরি করতে যাই তাহলে আমাদের কি দরকার? Please type in the chat box. If you'd like to make interrogative and negative sentences, what do you need? Type in the chat box, please. Very quickly, type in the chat box. What do you need? What do you need? So if you'd like to make interrogative and negative sentences, what do you need? Type in the chat box very quickly. If you'd like to make interrogative and negative sentences, what do you need? We need do, right? We need do. So now what I'm gonna do, I will again share my screen so that you can really understand what I mean by that is. So now we are making interrogative sentence, right? So all I did is just got to do and I put behind the subject. So interrogative sentence তৈরি করার জন্য কি করেছি? Same structure, subject plus verb, but extra একটা do এনে আমি কোথায় বসিয়েছি? Subjecটের পিছনে, right? So this is the structure you got to follow for interrogative sentence, and we're gonna practice a lot so that you can make a lot of interrogative sentences without any struggle. So now, how are we gonna make the sentences? Do I listen? Do we listen? Do you listen? Do they listen? Does he listen? Can you remember? He speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks. So এই ক্ষেত্রে do হয়ে যাবে does, right? So instead of do, we're gonna use does. So does he listen? Does she listen? Does it listen? Does Tony listen? So if you understand only this structure, you're done. You know how to make interrogative sentences very quickly. I repeat, this is how we're going to practice this structure, right? So do I listen? Do we listen? Do you listen? Do they listen? Does he listen? Does she listen? Does it listen? Does Tony listen? So what I'm going to do, I will unmute yourself, and all you got to do is you need to give me all the sentences. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Do I listen? Do we listen? Do we listen? Do they listen?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So now, this is the challenge, dear challengers. All you got to do is you got to give me all the sentences using one breath, right? Are you ready? Are you ready? So again, I'm going to unmute yourself. Please do it. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Do I listen? Do we listen? Do they listen? Do does listen? Do they listen? Does
Thank you.
only listen?
Thanks a lot. So I need a volunteer. So listen, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences in one breath?
Yeah. Do I speak? Do you speak? Do you speak? Do we speak? And does he speaks? And does she speaks? Does it speaks? Does
Okay.
Tony speaks?
Okay. Thank you. So listen, thanks for trying. So if you use does, you don't have to say speaks. For example, here. So do I listen? Do we listen? Do you listen? Do they listen? Then does he listen? I didn't say listens, right? Ekbar শুধু s যোগ করতে হবে, s sound একবার যোগ করতে হবে. So as we are using does, we don't have to use one more time. Clear? Okay. So does he listen? Does she listen? Does it listen? Does Tony listen? Clear? If you are, please type in the chat box clear. I'd like to see. Because if you don't understand the little bit this thing, you're gonna struggle a lot. You'll make a lot of mistakes. And this is the fundamental structure of English language. So you got to understand it 100%. Otherwise, it's gonna be very difficult for you. So please type in the chat box clear if you are. I'd like to see how many of you are really clear. Okay. So Lezan said, okay, clear. Okay, Mehdi said clear. Sadia said clear. Okay, thank you. Please keep typing, keep typing. I'd like to see. Otherwise, I'm going to repeat so that I can understand better, right? So, okay, so if I just change the verb, let's say speak, S-P-E-A-K, right? So, do I speak? Do you speak? Do you speak? Do they speak? Does he speak? Does she speak? Does it speak? Does Tony speak? Right? So this is how you got to make sentences. So I'm going to unmute one more time. And this time you got to give me all the sentences using one breath, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Do I speak?
I speak. Do we speak? Do you speak? They speak. Does he speak? She speak. Does Tony speak?
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, you know, when you ask a question, so I think what is called, the expression should be something different. For example, if you say I speak, you speak, we speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks, right? So this is a normal sentence. But when you ask a question, you got to have some sort of expression that you are really asking a question, not answering, right? So you got to push a little bit. For example, do you speak? Do you speak? Do they speak? Does he speak? Does she speak? So ekটু stress korte hobe. So again, follow me. Do I speak? Do we speak? Do you speak? Do they speak? Does he speak? Does she speak? Does it speak? Does Tony speak? So when you are asking a question, it seems like you are asking a question, right? So question korar moto kore question korte hobe so that everyone can understand, well, he is asking me a question. So if you say, do you speak? So it doesn't sound like you're asking a question, right? So instead of saying that, if you say, do you speak? So that means when you hear this, you'll feel that, well, I got to answer something because he's asking a question. So now with the notion, we're going to practice one more time. Ekটু আমরা practice করবো like a question, right? So do I speak? Do you speak? Do you speak? Do they speak? Does he speak? Does she speak? Does it speak? Does Tony speak? So please unmute yourself one more time. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Do I
Speak. Do you speak? Do you speak? Do you speak?
speak?
Does he speak? Does he speak? Does Tony speak? Tony speak?
Does she speak? Does it speak? Does Tony speak?
So thanks a lot. So now I'm going to ask a question. So let's see if you can answer me. Can you remember I said do means kora, but we use for integrative and negative sentences, right? So now we are practicing with integrative sentence, right? Can you please type in the chat box, what does integrative sentence mean? Type in the chat box, what does integrative sentence mean? Integrative sentence er mane ki? Please type in the chat box. What does integrative sentence mean? Type in the chat box very quickly. Okay, someone said asking, yeah, that's right. Questions, that's right. Okay, proshno kora, that's right. Okay, yeah, you got it. You got it. So if you'd like to make integrative sentence, if you'd like to ask questions, so this is the structure you got to follow. Now I'm going to ask you. So if you'd like to make integrative sentence, what would be the structure? Please type in the chat box. If you'd like to make integrative sentence, what would be the structure? Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Please type in the chat box. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Type in the chat box, please, quickly. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. I'd like to see everyone else comment. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for responding. So this is the structure you got to follow. If you don't follow, you are making mistakes. It's very simple. You got to follow this structure if you would like to make integrative sentence. If you don't follow, you are making mistakes. Clear? Okay. So the first structure, we got subject plus verb, and this structure just we added do, right? This is the integrative sentence. So now, what are you gonna do? I'll ask you some questions. Let's see if you can answer me, right? So the first question I'm gonna ask you, do you learn English? Type in the chat box, please. Do you learn English? Do you learn English? Type in the chat box. Very quickly, type in the chat box. Do you learn English? Answer me. Answer me. Don't type the questions. Answer me, please. Okay. Okay. Okay, Shahjan, Shahnaz, I'm not sure if I pronounce the name right. So the answer should be yes, I do. If I ask you a question, do you learn English? Answer should be yes, I do. Right? I'd like to see everyone else comment. Yes, I do. That's the smart way to answer it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. Now, if I ask you, the next question is, do you learn Chinese? Type in the chat box. Do you learn Chinese? Type in the chat box very quickly. Do you learn Chinese? Do you learn Chinese? Type in the chat box very quickly. Okay, listen, the answer should be no, I don't. Not I'm not. No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay. No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, the question is, do you learn Chinese? Answer should be no, I don't. Okay, next question I'm gonna ask you. So, do you speak Bengali? Please type in the chat box. Do you speak Bengali? Type in the chat box, please. So, generally, do you speak Bengali? Type in the chat box. Do you speak Bengali? Okay, excellent. Thanks for responding. That means you get it, right? Do you speak Bengali? Answer should be yes, I do. Do you speak Spanish? Type in the chat box. Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish? Answer should be no, I don't, right? Probably some of them might be exceptional. They can speak, but usually answer should be no, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, so next question is, do you practice English during the class? Type in the chat box. Do you practice English during the class? Type in the chat box. Do you practice English during the class? Type in the chat box. So answer should be yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, next question is, do you practice Chinese during the class? Type in the chat box. Do you practice Chinese? Do you practice Chinese during the class? Answer should be no, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, the last question is going to be difficult, right? Do you listen to me? Type in the chat box. Do you listen to me? Do you listen to me? Do you listen to me? Okay. Okay. Answer should be yes, I do. Answer should be yes, I do. Okay. So that's how I need to answer it. So this is called yes, no question, right? Yes and no question. So if I ask you this question without answering, you can just nod. So do you listen to me? Mm-hmm. Do you speak Bengali? Mm-hmm. Do you speak Chinese? Mm-hmm. So you can answer me by nodding your head, right? However, now the question is, if I'd like to get more information, if you'd like to get more information, then we got to ask deep questions, right? Please type in the chat box, deep questions. Type in the chat box, deep questions. Type in the chat box, deep questions. deep questions, right? So yeah, so if you'd like to just think about this. So if someone is caught at police station, and what does police do? Police start interrogating, right? So if you'd like to interrogate someone else, if you'd like to ask a lot of questions, right? All you need to do is you need to know how to ask deep questions. So in the next class, we'll learn how to ask deep questions, right? So please type in the chat box how to ask deep questions. In the next class, we'll learn how to ask deep questions. So quickly, please type in the chat box how to ask deep questions. Okay, how to ask deep questions. How to ask deep questions. How to ask, right? How to ask deep questions. So that's gonna be tomorrow's lesson. However, we have got plenty things to do. Now we're gonna jump into that. Okay, so now I have got a question. So who is your favorite person? Type in the chat box, please. Who is your favorite person? Type in the chat box. Who is your favorite person? It's a really difficult question to answer, right? Whether should I say mom or dad or brother or sister? Type in the chat box very quickly. Very quickly. So who is your favorite person? Okay. So Olivia said my mom. Joel said, okay. Sadia said parents. Okay. You need to find out one person because we're gonna do practice with that person, right? So find out, single out one person who is the favorite person in your family. Type in the chat box very quickly. Okay, one person, right? So for the sake of practicing, please pick up someone else from the family. It's gonna be better to practice. If you say, my favorite person is Boris Johnson or Trump, right? You don't have that much information to talk about him. So it's going to be better to practice if you know someone else and if you know what does he do. So it's going to be easier for you to answer the question. So the question is, who is your favorite person? Thank you. Thanks for responding. Thanks for responding. So now what I'm going to do, I'll give you the opportunity to speak about that person, right? So what does your favorite person do? What does your favorite person do every day, right? So all you got to do is you need to speak at least 3 activities, 3 actions, and this is gonna be your homework as well. However, I'd like to take you back in the last, here you go. So here, what does your favorite person do every day, right? So you got to put yes or yes. We know it, we know the grammar rules and regulation, but once we started speaking, we are making a lot of mistakes, right? So that's the reason we're going to practice a lot. And after practicing this enough, we are not making any mistakes. Did you get me? Did you get me? So the reason we're going to practice this question, what does your favorite person do, is we'd like to make sure that we are using S or yes sound without giving any effort. Okay, let me speak in Bengali. So এই কোশ্চেনের আনসার এমন ভাবে আমরা প্র্যাকটিস করব যখন থার্ড পারসন সিঙ্গুলার নাম্বারে এস সাউন্ড লাগবে এটা যাতে আমাদের মনে করে না নিতে হয় অটোমেটিক্যালি যাতে আসে দিস ইজ দ্য রিজন উই গোনা প্র্যাকটিস ইট এন্ড দিস ইজ দ্য ওয়ার্নিং ফর IELTS স্টুডেন্ট রাইট সো ইফ ইউ আর থিংকিং অ্যাবাউট taking your IELTS exam and I am sure if you don't practice it enough you will make a lot of mistakes in front of the examiner and due to the grammatical errors your mark would be reduced. So that's why I must recommend you to practice it at least 10 times, right? So all you got to do is you need to start something like this. Hi everyone, my name is Habib and today I'd like to share with you what my favorite person do every day. So basically she is my mother and she gets up early in the morning. So instead of get up you say gets up. She brushes her teeth, then she goes to the kitchen, she makes breakfast for us and she takes a cup of tea and usually she's a teacher so she gets ready for school and she takes rickshaw and she arrives to school at 9 o'clock and she starts taking the class And around 1 o'clock, she takes her lunch. Then she takes rest for some time. She starts working again, and she leaves school around 5 o'clock, and she takes another rickshaw to come home. And once she arrives home, she refreshes herself. She watches TV for some time, and then sometimes as she is learning English, she attends 7 days speaking challenge, and she also finishes her homework, right? And in the evening, she gets together with the family members. She makes and takes some snacks. She helps to cook, or she cooks, and she takes dinner with us, and she reads books sometimes. And usually she chats with the family members after having the dinner. And after that, she takes a look on tomorrow's plan, and she gets ready to go to sleep, and she goes to bed. Did you get me? So this is how you need to practice. What does your favorite person do every day? So what I'm gonna do, just I'll repeat what I just said. You got to focus on whether I'm adding S or yes. She gets up, she brushes, he brushes, she makes breakfast, he makes breakfast. This is how. So you need to put a sound always. Excuse me. So now what I'm gonna do, I'll unmute yourself, and I'll request you to answer the question, what does your favorite person do every day? Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
My
Neighbor, my favorite
That's
is
Making breakfast, he has a car,
completely does
gets ready for office,
he
gets at the office, starts working,
get ready for
answers
take bus
starts working, studying, office,
then
goes
he started working for
takes cup of take bus.
Thank you. Thank you. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a game. So this software, Zoom, is really cool. What I'm gonna do, I will send you in a small room, probably 2 to 3 people, and I'm gonna create the breakout room. It's called breakout room. I'm gonna create, let's say, 8 rooms. So in a minute, you will see click to join. So all you got to do is you need to click and join. আপনারা একটা নোটিফিকেশন দেখতে পাবেন, যে জায়গায় দেখতে পাবেন যে ক্লিক টু জয়েন, অর্থাৎ জয়েন করার জন্য আপনাকে ক্লিক করতে হবে। Once you click, you're gonna go to a small room, and there you will share what does your third person do or favorite person do every day. So going there, don't wait, right? So be brave. Say, hi, my name is Habib, and today I'd like to share with you what my favorite person do every day. So you need to start. So once you finish, then second person will start and third person will start. This is how. And you got to listen. Don't stop. If the person is making a lot of mistakes, don't stop. Keep him or keep her speaking. So once you start speaking, the correction, it will be automatically made, right? So please join to the breakout room and give your presentation about there. Join, please. Quick. So just click and join. Join করেন খুব দ্রুত. Please click and join very quickly. Yeah, click and join and give your presentation. Yeah, excellent. So click and join, go there and give a presentation. Click. All you got to do, you need to just click. Yeah, don't stay here. Please go there. And give a presentation. Quickly, go there and give a presentation, please. Quickly. Go. Don't stay here. Nijan, can you please give your presentation? So what does your favorite person do every day?
Yeah, I'm agree with you. So just a minute.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. There is Laisan Ahmed. I'm gonna share today what is my favorite person. My favorite person is my mom. She is a housewife, and she gets up from bed at 7 o'clock, and then she goes to the washroom for washes her face and brushes her teeth, and she come back from washroom and make a breakfast for us, and then she goes to the school or office. Then she come back home, and she makes lunch for us. Then sir, her mistake, I can't eat.
No, keep going. You are doing well. So after that, what happens?
After then she makes lunch, and she gives us to eat, and then she sir, I can't eat.
Okay, no problem. So who is the next person who would like to give a presentation right now? Just please raise your hand so that I can see you. Who is the next person to give a presentation? So the presentation is, what does your favorite person do every day? Okay, thank you, Lajan. I'd like to get a volunteer. Who is ready? Who is ready? All you got to do is, okay, so Mehdi, can you please unmute yourself and give a presentation?
Okay, thank you so much. Hello everyone. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite person, and she is my mother, and she gets up early in the morning, and she makes breakfast for ourselves, and then uh, she is get ready for her job, and uh, she is a school teacher, and she goes to school at 9 a.m. And then she gets a bus and go there, and she comes home at 12 p.m. and she makes lunch for us. She is going to kitchen and make it for ourselves, and then after making this, she
Okay, thank you, Mehdi. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. We haven't got plenty of time. That's why I got to stop there. So now, can you please answer in the chat box? So how was the discussion in a breakout room, a small room? Type in the chat box. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Or you couldn't get it? Type in the chat box. So breakout room, another experience. Can you please share in the chat box? So sometimes all I got to do is I need to put into the breakout room, probably with 2-3 people, and you're gonna discuss, you're gonna practice, because I have seen in the group, I mean, some of you would like to practice a lot because probably they have got IELTS exam in the future. So all you got to do is you can do this. And also, I know some of you, they are looking for speaking partners, right? So type in the chat box, who is looking for speaking partners? Type in the chat box, me. I'd like to see who is looking for speaking partners. Type in the chat box. It's me. I'd like to see. Okay, Amina said me, Masum said me, Joel said me, Sumaya Sumi said me, Farabi said me. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So now, you know, Hassel for education is a family, like a family. So I know you need a speaking partner, and especially without speaking, without practicing, it's really impossible to develop an English skill. So this is my strategy, right? Don't go to the Facebook group or WhatsApp group and don't say, hey, I'm going to sit for IELTS exam, I need a speaking partner. No, don't do that. There is the better way to do it. All you got to do is you need to submit your homework, and you need to comment your classmates' homework as well. For example, you commented, let's say 5 people, excellent, brilliant, cool, outstanding, you have done really good job, this and that, right? Let's say 3-4 videos you have commented. And now the person knows that you commented, you are doing this 7 days speaking challenge, right? And they will treat you as a family. And all of a sudden you think, okay, so I have commented these 5 people, and out of 5 people, I think 2 people, they're very good in speaking, or probably they're very helpful. So what I need to do is I need to send them a message on Facebook that Salam, Laizan, this is me Habib, can I please practice with you, and can we schedule a time? And probably Laizan say, yeah, of course, I'm looking for a partner as well to develop my skill. What about tomorrow 3 p.m? What about tomorrow 5 p.m? So we can practice on WhatsApp or phone call or something else, whatever it is, right? And then you schedule some time, like 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever you need. And then you started practicing with the person. Did you get me? So this is like one-to-one approach. So instead of doing just a post like, I need a speaking partner, it sounds forced, right? So once you give a post, probably 10 people are commenting on you, I'm interested, I'm interested, I'm interested, and you don't know what to say to those persons. So it's better submit your homework and comment each other and pick up someone else from the students who submitted their homework, because you know who are submitting their homework, they're serious, they would like to develop their English skill, they would like to change their life through education. So all you got to do is you need to find out the person who is submitting their homework every day, right? So let me repeat the whole thing. Submit your homework, comment each other. So probably after 2, 3, 4 videos, then you found the person that, okay, probably this person would be the better for me, because I think whatever the reason, right? So then send them a personal message that Assalamu alaikum, or hi, I'm interested in practicing with you if you don't mind. So ask for the permission, right? If the person said, no, I don't like to practice with you, that's fine, no problem, thanks a lot, right? And then you start practicing with it. So however, this is the warning as well, right? So once you become a speaking partner, don't borrow money, right? And then don't come to me that, well, you told us to become a friend and practice all together, and all of a sudden I found that, right, someone needs some money and I gave it and he's not, refunding. So can you please help? Don't come to me like that, right? Don't exchange anything. Don't exchange money, don't exchange anything, right? So anyway, we respect you, we trust you, but it has to be certain limit as well. This is the warning. So if you really got me, please type in the chat box, understood what I just mean. Type in the chat box, understood. However, we are zero tolerance policy. So if you are harassing someone else, and if that person come to us with a screenshot that someone you harass someone else, so we're gonna ban you from this group, right? So this is the group where we're gonna learn together, grow together, help each other together, right? So this is how I need to help, because my mission is to help millions of students to speak English naturally. That's my mission, right? And finally, I know my team is working so hard behind the whole scene. Probably you don't see them, but you see they are reminding you, they are giving you the homework and all that stuff. So do they deserve a thanks from you? If you think so, please type in the chat box, thanks hassle-free education team. I'd like to see how many of you are really kind, generous to say thank you, the whole team who is helping us to come this far. Type in the chat box. I'd like to see how many of you would like to give a really thanks from the heart and they really mean it. Okay, so yeah, I'd like to see how many of you. So Sumaya said thanks hassle-free education. Okay, you're welcome. Mehdi said thanks hassle-free education team. Tanim said, thanks, SLP education team. Okay, thank you. I'm not sure iPhone, it says thanks. Lisan says, thanks, SLP education team. Okay, yeah, so it's not me. It's all about the whole team. And, you know, they approach you, they gave you all the information, and after that, they invited you to this group, and that's why you are here. So all credit goes to the SLP education team. So I would like to thank them as well, because I really appreciate their hard work, right? So otherwise, it's not possible for me to arrange such a huge thing online, and I'm taking the class from United Kingdom. Okay, so last thing I'd like to share with you is, you know, without your support, I cannot achieve my dream. I cannot achieve my mission, right? So as I'm saying, my mission is to help millions of students to speak English fluently with confidence. So all you got to do is you need to spread out this message, right? You need to invite them. You need to tell your friends that, hey, I know you have got some sort of free time or leisure time. So please utilize this. Come, jump into the Hassle Education, and they will help you to speak English naturally. And, you know, so once you're ready, so you can jump in, because there is no luck in success. It's all about preparation and time. So if you're really prepared, and if you see the time, if you jump in, you'll be successful, right? So that's the only thing you got to. And last thing I'd like to say, you know, there is no credit to become successful alone. It's better if you become successful with the people that surround you. So that's why I always try to help others as well. Give the message. Tell them you don't have to pay even a single penny for this speaking challenge. All you can do is just, just let us know if you are really interested, and make a commitment that you're gonna do this course, you're gonna finish this course, and through this education, you're gonna change your life, right? So I would recommend you, please spread out the message. Probably what you can do, once you submit your homework, you can share to your Facebook group, right? I mean, the homework you have shared to the Facebook group, you can share on your Facebook page. And once you do that, then you will see a lot of people, they'll say, hey, I have seen that you have submitted a homework and you have given a presentation and you have spoken like 4 to 5 minutes. How come? Even I have seen you a week before. You couldn't speak even a bare of word. Now we're speaking English. So how come? Can you please share the information? And once you do that, they'll be benefited as well. So I must recommend you, please do that. Spread out the message, share with your Facebook, so that everyone knows what we are doing. And our mission is to help you out, right? And the final thing is, this is all about your homework. So please make sure you submit your homework in the Facebook group, right? So this is the question: what does your favorite person do every day? So all you got to do is you need to, okay, I'm gonna give the link as well, so that you can go and you can give a presentation right now, right? So there is no time to take preparation. You are already prepared, right? All you got to do is you need to just give a presentation. So, and also you can invite your friends to this Facebook group as well, so that they know what we are doing. So now, so here you go. Still okay. So all you got to do is just you need to okay. I think that's all about today's class. Now, have you got any questions? Please, if you have got questions, please type in the chat box. I'll answer in a minute, and then we're gonna finish it up. So please type in the chat box if you have got any questions. Any questions at all? Because I have seen some of the people raise your hand. Okay, Legend said no questions. If you've got any questions, please type in the chat box. I'll answer. Well done. Okay, I think no question at all. I'll take 1 more minute, probably still you are typing. Okay, Sadia said I couldn't talk in the breakout room. I'm not sure, Sadia. Is it the time you haven't got it, or you couldn't just get into the breakout room? So what's the reason? Type in the chat box, please. Okay, Tamim Datta said excellent session. Okay, thank you. Thanks for a nice word. Sadia, please type quickly. So what's the reason? You haven't got time, or you couldn't enter into the breakout room? Okay, Sadia said I was so afraid. Okay, yeah, that means that's the beautiful thing you need to understand as well. So if you are in your comfortable zone, you are not achieving what you want to achieve. All you got to do is you need to push yourself into an uncomfortable zone, and once you start working in an uncomfortable zone, you are developing yourself, right? Mehdi said I got 2 people, but they didn't talk with me. Okay, sorry to hear that, Mehdi. So you're here to develop yourself, right? If you don't participate, you are not achieving anything. And the next thing is, sometimes I see a lot of people, they don't respond me as well, right? I don't mind, because sometimes it might be the tech issue. Probably they don't know how to do it, or probably sometimes it happens is they cannot unmute themselves. This is the tech thing. I don't have any hand over there. However, I would recommend you, once I tell you to do something, go there and do that. Okay. So thank you, everyone. So all you got to do is you need to go to this Facebook group and submit your homework right now. So there is no excuse. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.